Well, good afternoon, Raider Nation. My name is Brent Johnson. Along with me is Coach Sky Keck. It's going to be commentating most of the game today. I'll explain why in a moment, just a scheduling conflict. But we want to welcome you to Lady Raider softball. This is our first time being able to get together and commentate one of the Lady Raiders games. We hadn't been home in a couple weeks is one reason. The other is the first few weeks of the season we had a lot of cancellations because of weather delays and that type of thing. So we're glad to be here today. Being able to recognize these young ladies over the air rather than just having a sort of a muted audio for these ladies. And Sky's going to tell you a little bit more about the team and what's been going on. I'm having to be involved in a special meeting that was scheduled about a month ago. So I'm going to be here, but I've got to pay attention to it. So I'm going to be kind of running the production. But Sky's going to do majority of the commentating, talking about these young ladies and what they've been able to accomplish thus far and what we hope to see them continue to do the remainder of the season. But I want to thank our sponsors for the 22-23 athletic school year, and that's going to be Family Vision Care of Alma. That's Coley Electric and Plumbing Supply and Burt CPAs. I want to thank all three of those title sponsors for being a huge part of what we continue to try to do here at BCTV Red Raider Broadcasting. So I'm going to turn it over to Sky and again let him talk about a pretty cool winning streak and those sorts of things. Sky?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I just want to talk about the privilege it is to be able to call this game by myself, with the master over here apparently being too big for this setup these days. And, he thinks he's a big deal and everything. So, but if you've been tuning into all these broadcasts lately, you know who the true face that runs the place is around here. So we won't get into all that. But today your Lady Raiders are going to be taking on your Brooks County Lady Trojans. And I was told earlier that we are currently on a 6-game winning streak. I knew it was approaching some number around there, as I haven't made it to many of the games lately because they've played a lot of away games. Now they're finally back home and gotten into region play and games of that nature. But as far as the day goes, your Lady Trojans, their lineup's going to go as number 15 Griffith will lead off, followed by number 14 Thomas with number 11 White in the 3-hole. Your cleanup hitter will be number 6 Williford. Following her is number 4 Broom, followed by 25 Williams, number 8 Mayhen, number 1 Andrews, and the 9 spot is going to be number 5 Tillman. Their head coach is Lisa Vincent. With your Bacon County Lady Raiders, you've got number 7 Alexis Kirkland leading off, playing third base. Number 5 Riley Andrews playing short behind her. Number 3 Haley Hand at first. And I'm going to take a slight pause because I believe we're about to start the national anthem here. All right, and I'm back. Before we had to take that slight intermission there for the national anthem, I was in the middle of calling out our lineup, which I'll wait and do that for when we actually come up to bat in the bottom of the first. But get this game started or something new going on the field. This is probably the first game I've been to this season where Chloe Pless has not been pitching, and so Ava Connor is in the circle today, and so we're going to see what she's got today against these Lady Trojans. I'm not going to have somebody sit here and roast the whole time. All right, and we're back again. So we've got number 15, Griffith, leading the game off. Ava's about to deliver our first pitch here to get this game underway, and that is in for a strike. So good way to start the game there. I know coming from a coach's perspective, you usually keep up with first pitch strikes and things of that nature. So Ava is 1 for 1 to start the day in that category. That's going to be a ball hit right back to her. We're going to have a little 1-3 put out there for your first out of the ball game. A little PFP action. For those of you that might not understand that language, that is pitcher fielding practice. And those are usually worked on. I know at least at my practices we do that just about every day. So that's pretty routine. We've got number 14, Thomas, in the box now. She's going to swing and miss on a ball on the outer third of the plate. The 0-1 count. That's going to be strike 2. Another swing and miss there. And batter shows bunt. Did not make contact. Misses the pitch, and that's going to be strike 3. So you're going to have 2 outs now in the top of the first inning.
Now batting number 11, White.
Got number 11, White in the batter's box. They're Brooks County's 3-hole hitter. And that's going to be a strike across the inside corner. So far, Ava has not thrown a ball yet, so I probably just jinxed that, but we'll see what happens. And that's going to be another pitch hit by Ava. She's going to make the throw for your third out of the inning. So Ava is 2 for 2 on PFPs to go along with her 1 strikeout in that inning, and that's going to bring your Lady Raiders up to bat in the bottom of the first when we come back. All right, and then here in the bottom of the first inning, Alexis Kirkland is going to get things started for the Lady Raiders. She is batting leadoff and playing third base today. She'll be followed by Riley Andrews with Haley Hand in the 3-hole, Ayla Dixon batting cleanup, Jess Cartledge hitting 5th, Anna Kate Hollingsworth in the 6th spot, Maddie Metters batting 7th, Ava Connor in the 8-hole, and Santana Green batting 9th. First pitch to Lexi is a ground ball through your 5-6 hole in the left field there for a base hit. So that's a good way for her to get the game started.
Now batting number 5, Riley Andrews, hand on deck.
Senior Riley Andrews in the box. Alexis is going to take off the second base. Shortstop's going to have a little bit of a mishandle there on that ground ball, so Riley's going to reach base safely, and that's going to bring Haley Hand up the bat with runners on first and second to get this inning started.
Now at the bat, number 3, Haley Hand, Dixon on deck.
Haley Hand gets a chance here with runners on base to start this game off. First pitch is going to be a little high and inside. And that's going to bring the count to 2-0 there on a pitch that's high and outside. So Haley's in a good spot. 2-0, runners on first and second. That pitch is going to be low and inside. I almost thought that was going to get past the catcher for a moment. As I'm sitting here watching Brooks' defensive alignment, there seems to be a rather wide gap in right center field there. And the pitcher's going to pour one in there for strike one. That's going to bring the count to 3-1. I believe Haley probably had take there all the way. She's going to swing and drive that one in the left field, and that's going to get down and roll towards the foul pole. Alexis is going to score from second base, and Riley's going to be right behind her, and you've got Haley going to stand in with a stand-up double there to start her day off, so that's going to give her 2 RBIs on her first at bat, and your Lady Raiders are going to take a 2-0 lead to start this game.
Now batting number 1, Ayla Dixon, Cartledge on deck.
We've got the freshman Ayla Dixon standing in the box. That pitch barely missed her. She almost got grazed there. She'd have been taking her base. Instead, it's going to be a ball. That's going to be a good pitch. It seemed to be on the inner third of the plate. Brings your count to 1-1 on Ayla Dixon. Pitch going to be grounded back up the middle. The shortstop is going to roll into her glove. Haley's going to score from second. Ayla will be in with a single on that play. The Lady Raiders are now going to bring the score to 3-0 to start the game and nobody out.
Now at the bat, number 20, Jess Cartledge, Hollingsworth on deck.
Jess Cartledge in the box now. Sophomore catcher. That pitch is going to be taken for a strike. That seemed to be right down the pipe there. Jess is getting locked in. Pitch inside and Jess fouls it off there into the third base dugout almost. 0-2 count. That pitch is going to be lifted into center field. The center fielder was in a great position there, so that's going to bring the first out of the inning on a hard hit ball there by Jess.
Now batting, number 2, Anna Kate Hollingsworth. Batters on deck.
Junior Anna Kate Hollingsworth in the box with runner on first and 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning. Pitch is going to be grounded to short. Shortstop's going to bobble it. Anna Kate's going to be able to beat that out. So your Raiders are at first and second with 1 out here in the bottom of the first.
Now batting, number 10, Maddie Batters. Connor on deck.
You got a wild pitch there by the pitcher. She just sailed that one over everybody. Your runners are going to advance to second and third on the play, so they're now at second and third with 1 out. Pitcher's going to leave that one up high also. Pitcher's going to miss with a ball low and inside, so that brings the count to 3-0 here for Maddie. And that's going to be ball 4 up and inside. So Maddie's going to take a walk. That's going to have the bases loaded for Ava Connor coming up the bat. So your pitcher here has a large opportunity to help herself out in a major way.
Now up to bat, number 14, Ava Connor. Green on deck.
Ava's going to get a pitch on the inside part of the plate that she fouls down the third base line there. So your Lady Raiders are here with a big opportunity in the first inning, already up 3-0 with the bases loaded and a chance to add more to it. And Ava's going to just about replicate the first pitch as she fouls that one down the third base line also. That's going to bring it to an 0-2 count here with 1 out and the bases loaded.
I just want to interject real quick and inflate Sky's head a little bigger and tell him he's doing a great job even without me on the air with him. No, again, I said earlier I had a schedule conflict. About a month ago, I scheduled a Zoom meeting for some professional learning for myself. It has to do with my engineering classroom, and I had no idea it coincided with today's broadcast a month ago. So Sky graciously accepted the role to do most of this by himself. I'm sitting here close, but he's actually not reading from a script, and he does have a lineup here, but I wouldn't expect him to memorize all that. So there's a base hit to left field.
Well, that one's going to roll all the way to the fence here. Ava's going to get in with a double, and she's going to clear the bases for a 6-0 lead here early on for your Lady Raiders.
To the plate, number 12, Santana Green. Kirkland on deck.
And that brings senior Santana Green here in the 9-hole up the bat.
Is there 1 out on the board?
There is 1 out.
6 runs in. We're definitely going to bat around with Santana again in this 9 spot.
Lady Raiders are off to a hot start today. They're putting just about everything in play that comes across the plate.
Looking for that 7th straight win, another big region win for the Lady Raiders as they're continuing to prep for a deep run into the playoffs.
These region games are the ones that count. All those non-region games that you play, they're good to build your team up and get reps. But at the end of the day, the region games are where you make your money, so to speak.
That's right. They're all scrimmages, except those region games because these games like Coffee County and these other schools that we've scheduled along the way that kind of give us a little hard time early in the season. Again, it just kind of sharpens the blade for the playoffs and the region schedule. That does determine the seeding for the GHSA state tournament.
And you want to get hot at the right time. You want to win the games that matter, and region play is definitely the time to do that and get everything together and for the long haul. Santana's going to foul that one straight back on a 3-0 count. No, Brent has disappeared yet again, but luckily I brought my good back with me today to be able to carry this broadcast, which, I mean, that's nothing new, but and Santana is going to take a walk there. So you got Santana and Ava on first and second with one out as your Lady Raiders have padded their lead to a 6-0 spot now. Pitcher's going to get that one across the outside corner of the plate for a strike. This is one of those long innings out in the field for the defense. I'm sure that they're starting to feel the effect of just the sun beating down on them. And I know as a fielder, you stand out there long enough and don't have – oh, and Alexis is going to hit a ground ball at third base. It's going to just slightly go foul. That probably would have ended up in a double and at least another run on the board. But as a fielder, this is one of those innings that really just tests you and gets to you. And hopefully you stay prepared and keep your mind in the right spot to make the play of the ball comes to you, because I know these long innings, they just seem to drag on and drag you down with them. As that pitch misses inside. Lex is going to hit another ground ball there between the 5-6 hole. Ava's going to score from second on the play. Santana will stop at second. That's going to bring the score to 7-0 in favor of your Lady Raiders, with Alexis and Santana on first and second, and one out with Riley Andrews coming back up the bat.
Now batting, number 5, Riley Andrews, hand on deck.
Of course, talking about it from a defensive perspective, if you're the offense right now, you just want to keep hitting, because when the bats are hot, everybody wants to run to the bat rack and get in on it and be a part of it and see just how far they can run the score up, as Riley's going to foul the first pitch of the at-bat straight back to the screen. Riley's going to hit another ground ball. That'll go to the shortstop, but third baseman was not on the bag for that play, as she was in position to receive a feed, but not in the right position. So that'll bring...
Now batting, number 17, Lily Smith, Dixon on deck.
That'll bring Lily Smith into the game, the bat for Haley Hand here. She steps into a big spot with the bases loaded here in the first inning. Got a conversation going on here, and apparently Lily walked up to the plate with a bat that has a hole in it, so she'll get the right one. And after that small break in the action, we'll have the pitcher deliver another ground ball to short that's going to be mishandled, and Santana's going to come across the score as your Lady Raiders continue to add on, making it 8-0 here in the bottom of the first inning with Lily reaching base safely.
Now batting, number 1, Ayla Dixon.
And hitting is contagious, and so when it rains, it pours, and that is definitely the case here for the Lady Raiders in the first inning. First pitch of the at-bat is across for a strike. This is one of those things that you love to see as a coach, and as a player, it does nothing but boost your confidence. That is a hard line drive there, just foul there for Ayla Dixon. She barely missed extra bases and a couple of RBIs with that one. That pitch is going to miss high. Pitcher's going to deliver, and that pitch will miss high, bringing the count to 2-2. Lady Raiders had the bases loaded, so I feel like the bases have been loaded for about the last 10 minutes here. That ball is going to be a pop up there in the left center field as your center fielder, I believe, is going to miss it there. I couldn't really see with the shortstop in my line of sight, but we're going to get another run across, and the bases are going to remain loaded, so we're just playing station to station ball right now.
Now batting, number 18, Allie Metters, Langford on deck.
We're going to have Allie Metters hit now. Coach Gay seems to be getting some subs in here early. And that pitch is going to squeak in the strike zone there on the outside corner to make it 0-1. Start the at-bat off. Pitch is going to be a little inside, bring the count to 1-1 on Allie. It's nice to see that our student section has showed up this evening, as we've got plenty of students roaming around the outside walls of the fence with a nice crowd here in the stands, as Allie's going to swing and miss on that pitch there on the outside part of the plate. And Allie's going to line one just foul there down the left field line. That is another one of those that if it could have snuck in there, she'd have been looking at possible extra bases and a couple RBIs. That pitch is going to miss low and bounce in the dirt, and we're going to have Riley come streaking across the plate there to bring the score to 10-0 for your Lady Raiders, as all of your runners are going to advance, with runners left on second and third here for Allie. just discovered we've got a Georgia Tech fan in the box up here with us. As Allie's going to continue to fight off pitches.
Yeah, I thought they would once they got rid of the last one. Yeah.
Allie's going to yank that one foul down the left field line. Actually, that's out in the parking lot just about.
Yeah. Yeah, my sister went. She got a 4-year degree in engineering, and she's a stay-at-home mom. Cartersville. Her husband works for
That pitch is going to miss low and inside. Got a full count here. So we've got a Georgia Tech conversation going on up here about their athletic program, which if you don't pay very close attention to them, you'll forget that their athletic program even exists.
That was a very short conversation. I'm going to add that. No, I was just saying, Georgia Tech is a fantastic academic college, one of the top in the nation when it comes to engineering and technology. Even around the world, they're known for it. But I just feel like they could do a better job with their athletic program, specifically football.
If I'm not mistaken, Georgia Tech actually has a big game this weekend, I believe. I mean, not big as in it's between two ranked teams, because obviously Georgia Tech is not ranked. But I can't remember who it is, but it is a big team they're playing this weekend.
Well, they gave Clemson all they wanted for about a quarter.
I mean, actually, I watched part of that game. It was close going into the third, and then Clemson just realized they had a bunch of 4 and 5 stars on the roster that made it, 41-10. But I just looked it up. They're actually playing Ole Miss this weekend, who is ranked 20 this year. Got Carly Langford in the box. She takes the first pitch high for a ball.
Looks like runners second and third, 2 outs here in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, this is one of those innings that you just, as the team at the plate, you don't want it to end, and the team in the field, you wish it would have ended 20 minutes ago. That pitch will also miss low, so Carly's ran the count to 3-0 here, so she's looking for her pitch right here. And she'll take that high for a walk to load the bases up again.
Now batting, number 10, Maddie Matters. Connor on deck.
That's going to bring Maddie Matters to the plate with the bases loaded and 2 outs. So, big situation here with your Lady Raiders already up 10-0 as Brooks County's going to have a slight conference out in the circle. First pitch to Maddie is going to be high. Maddie's going to foul that one off to even the count back up 1-1 here. Got a lot of freshmen and sophomores sprinkled through this lineup today, especially so far in this game. You've seen several freshmen make appearances, with most of the starting lineup being sophomores. So still got a young team, and it's good to see results on the field from a young team, as that only shows that your future is probably bright. As that pitch misses high. Got a bright future, and the present may be just as bright. So Lady Raiders softball program seems to be in a really good spot as that pitch is going to miss inside to Maddie. Bring the count to 3-1 here in the bottom of the first inning with the Lady Raiders up by a 10 spot already. Maddie's going to foul that one off there on the left side. So I'm sitting here watching these outfielders. There's not a lot of movement between pitches. As I think if you've ever played the game and you've been there before, you understand when one of these innings happens. That pitch is going to miss high, so we're going to have a run walked in. As Lily Smith's going to come and step across the plate for the 11th run of the inning for your Lady Raiders.
Now batting, number 14, Ava Connor.
It's going to bring Ava Connor to the plate with the bases loaded. That pitch is going to miss high. Brings your count to 1-0. Started off for Ava. Since she's pitching in this game, it probably feels like a century since she threw her last pitch, which in a lot of cases I know I've seen it happen where pitchers tend to lose their edge after super long innings, but we'll see what happens to Ava here in the second inning. Of course, at the current moment, she's trying to help herself out here and score some more runs, and she's going to drive that ball in the left center field. That's going to rattle up against the fence as you're going to have 1, 2, and waiting for Maddie to score. There she is. She's going to cross the plate to clear the bases for Ava. She just certainly done her job to clear the to add on, as she's going to be in the second base with a stand-up double. That's going to bring your score to 14-0 here for the Lady Raiders in the first inning. We've got another break in the action.
How did you say her last name? Dale?
We're going to have Thea Dow step in the box here. That pitch is going to be called for a strike across the outside corner, I'm guessing. That pitch is going to be swung at and missed up and inside. It's going to bring your count to 0-2 on Thea. That's going to be a called strike 3 there down the middle, as Thea's going to get rung up, and your Lady Raiders are going to head into the top of the second inning up 14-0 on your Brooks County Lady Trojans, as I'm going to take a break here.
Well, Sky, we got just a second here. I do too. First of all, I'm going to remind everybody we do have a big football game coming off of a really good win for the Red Raider football team last weekend against a pretty good ATCO team, a solid team. Had a couple good days of practice. We posted the Red Raider Coaches Show this afternoon, so you can go online, search YouTube for Week 5, Red Raider Coaches Show, and it'll pop up. A good show. Shows are always a little easier to do after a victory, it seems like. But we're heading over to Homerville, Georgia, to Clinch County. We hadn't been over there in about 11 years, or excuse me, 12, maybe 13 years, since 2011. And we almost did the unthinkable that year. Sky, we just about upset. Probably should have upset Clinch. We lost 13-14. Our special teams let us down that day with some extra points, and 2-point conversions failed. We give up a kickoff return for a touchdown, and still had a chance to win right at the end with a field goal that was missed. But I'm excited to go back this week and let these boys have some fun playing and continue to improve as they've done each week to give Clinch County all they want.
Yeah, wins are certainly fun to follow up, as you're interested to see how the team can follow that up and how they're feeling this week, and see how their mind, if it's in the right place, and if they want to continue to grow and add to it. So we're going to start back here in the top of the second inning with Ava Connor delivering strikes to make it 0-2. That one's going to be low in the dirt for a ball.
Another big game Saturday for the Dogs as we open up SEC play.
On the road.
South Carolina. It's just a few hours away. That's kind of a border war.
Yeah.
Really unique stadium to play in. They really love their football just like they do in Athens.
That ball is going to be lifted in the center field, and that's going to be caught for the first out of the inning. But, yeah, I've never been to Williams-Brice, but I've heard that it is quite the environment, and it is a good time if you're in the stands. I've heard South Carolina fans really get into it, really, no matter how good their team is the year. They're going to be there and be loud.
Yeah, and that's again, that's the kind of environment that you want to participate in, and that's typical SEC football, but especially in the southeastern or the eastern side.
What is it they played at every game that really gets fans into it? Is it called Sandstorm? I think that's South Carolina's go-to.
Yeah. 12 o'clock kickoff. Georgia's favored by 24.5 the last I saw, which is probably about right. I anticipate a 20-plus point win. People wanted to think we were a little lackluster last week, and maybe, obviously we didn't score touchdowns in our first few drives. But to be honest, Sky, I think this is going to be kind of a boring season up until the SEC championship game. I hope it is, because I think
it does have the potential there, but there is a stretch where when we play Florida, we run a stretch of it's Florida,
Tennessee,
Kentucky, Mississippi State, and I'm not sure if that's the correct order. I know Florida comes first out of them four, but those are probably our four biggest games of the season, and they're all back to back to back to back. So that's a good stretch.
I'd actually be a little more concerned about Tennessee than I would Florida this year.
Tennessee's actually the one home game out of those four.
Yeah, they have the potential to score some points, and if our defense is exploitable, they probably have the best opportunity to do that with the weapons they have. But Florida, if we lose to Florida this year, Kirby should be fired on the spot before he walks off the field. I mean, after that big contract, now let me say this: I despise Florida. I do think that Coach Napier is the real deal. I think he's a good guy. I think he's going to try to build a good program there at Florida, and probably after 2 years of recruiting, he will have Florida. I would predict he will have Florida back in the top 10 potential after year 2, year 3, and that's fortunate for them. Unfortunate for maybe the rest of the SEC, just because of the high character guy he is. But these next 2 years,
there was a lot of hype on Florida after week 1, them beating Utah in the swamp, and then they quickly got humbled and reminded who they are. And lost to Kentucky.
It wasn't their fault. That's politics. That was the ESPN and those guys for just jumping the gun. Before that game was over, and leading up to last week, Richardson was the Heisman favorite or the number 2 candidate, and he looked horrible that game last weekend. Kentucky really stepped up. That's another coach I have a lot of respect for, and Stoops. I think he runs a really good program, trying to build relationships with kids, and just being able to get them to Kentucky, who's been perennial basketball school for the last 3 decades.
And you know what's crazy is I believe Kentucky's head football coach and head basketball coach actually got into a bit of a Twitter war a few weeks ago over Kentucky being a so-called basketball school. And I can't remember Mark Stoops' response, who's their head football coach. I can't remember his exact response, but I think he more so reminded their basketball coach that Kentucky's actually been a, you could say, good football program here the last handful of years.
Oh, they have. They have, and it's because of Stoops recruiting locally. They don't have a bunch of high-profile recruits out of Kentucky or Tennessee for that matter, and they're right there together. But he's been able to get the best that he can out of his state, and then pull a few kids from around the country that have that enjoy playing for him, and that's the key is getting these guys. If you're a coach and you can get these guys to run through a brick wall for you, that's what you want, and that's what he's been able to do essentially. And he very well could be, before it's over with, they could be the second best team in the SEC East before it's all said and done, because they were missing some guys this past weekend. They'll have the remainder of the year for some disciplinary issues. And
I know their leading
help.
rusher at running back, he's supposed to be back, I believe, the first game in October, whatever that date is. And their quarterback's projected by a lot of people as a first-round pick in the upcoming NFL draft. So they've got a couple guys that are big names on the team right now. But as we all know, and that team in Athens has more 4 and 5 stars than most other teams have players, and so, or at least players that get on the field. And I think Kirby's done a good job so far of keeping the team in the right headspace. I know I've heard him say that humility is a week away several times, and so I think they'll stay locked in. But at the end of the day, everyone knows that Georgia's going to be favorited in just about every game they play.
Yeah,
right?
they will be.
And I think, 33-0 to Samford, and people were like, well, Georgia didn't even play good. So I feel like that tells you what the standard is at that
Well, I
university
don't
right
think
now.
that, and I'll let you take it, Lady Raiders home right here, but I don't think we necessarily played. It wasn't that we didn't play good. I just think, again, it just wasn't quite as dynamic as the week before. It's tough after you win a big game like that in the Mercedes-Benz, and then you got a team that you're expected to beat by 52. It's just hard to get your emotion back up. These guys are still 18, 19, 20-year-olds. No matter what the coach is, it's just one of them things. And unfortunately, that is an excuse. Maybe not something the coaches want to see and me as fans want to see, but it is what it is. I got a feeling they'll have their heads on straight tomorrow, knowing what happened a couple years ago, still fresh in Kirby's mind.
And, I believe that if you take I just lost my train of thought here. It's Chloe Pless just pinch hit and got hit, so she limped down the first base there, although she seems perfectly fine now. That is going to be a foul ball again on that left side, as our Lady Raiders have tore that left side up today. We're going to have to replace some clay and grass over there as it's getting worn out. So your Lady Raiders here in the bottom of the second inning have a commanding 14-0 lead on the Brooks County Lady Trojans. Riley is going to, we're going to get a call on that play there, boss man. Trying to figure out what's going on, as I've never seen a signal from the umpire, but he's going to eventually rule it a foul ball. I've seen some dirt, maybe even chalk kick up down that left field line, but regardless, it's ruled a foul ball, and Riley's going to step back in with a 0-2 count on her. Riley's going to lift that one into right over the shortstop's head. So she's going to be in with a single as Chloe advances to second on the play.
Now batting, number 17, Lily Smith. Dixon on deck.
Lily Smith's in the box for runners on first and second for the Lady Raiders. That's going to be a called strike across the inside corner of the plate.
Mentioned earlier, we'll be traveling over to Clinch to.
We're going to have some action here on the players. That's some ground ball to short that's going to go off the shortstop shin, with Chloe showing some speed there on the bases to score from second, as you're going to have runners on first and second now with the Lady Raiders up 15-0.
Well, I guess we could talk about the run rule here. You're guaranteed 3 innings, but that's the magic number, 15-0 there after 3. So 3 more outs at the top of the third will do it, as long as the Lady Raiders don't give up any more runs. I think it's 15 after 3, 12 after 4, 10 after 5. And the Lady Raiders will take another region victory here. I was going to try to pull up the schedule and see when we play. Again, I'm pretty sure it's not until next week. But again, I was just saying just a moment ago, we will be traveling over to broadcast live. But I want to tell you what, watch our broadcast. I know you are paying subscription to watch this at home, but watch the broadcast on demand. We want you to have a really push to come out and support not only Lady Raider softball, everything. Base hit down the left field line there. It's going to load the bases.
As we're now just playing station to station there, so we're not trying to run up the score on anybody. As we easily could have scored again there and turned that into a double possibly for Lily, but we're just going to hold our runners and let them go base to base at this point in the ball game.
We want you to come out and support these young men and women of the varsity level sports. They want to let them hear your voice from the stands in a positive way. Let me say that. But that's important. There's times, and that's what we're here for. There's times when you can't make trips. There's people that are physically unable to come, and and I know gas prices are high right now. You can carpool. A lot of people do that. But we really encourage you to come out and support. It's going to be a base hit in the left field, just a little C&I single by that Metters.
Yes.
And it's going to be another RBI there for Allison. And it's going to be 16-0. Still no outs here in the bottom of the second. But again, just reiterating how important it is to be in the stands, support not only our football and softball and the athletes, but folks, we got a lot of other kids that work real hard to participate and be a part of these programs. And, speaking of football, you're talking about the band, and I witness that every day because the band is in my hallway. I can hear the practicing and the things, and all the kids. Man, there's 100 strong in that program from middle school to high school. Another base hit or
that's
more.
That's going to be a good little shot there by Carly Langford as your left fielder. That's going to roll under her glove. And, man, I know Carly's really wishing we weren't at this portion of the ball game, as Carly could probably had a double or triple there on the play and another RBI. But after it's all said and done, she's going to get 2 RBIs and a single out of that with a nice hit there by your freshman.
And one last plug for the cheerleaders that practice hard to cheer on those Raiders.
What we really need to be talking about is how it has somehow rained, I feel like, at every football game nearly. And the dedication for all of these people that remain at these games and played through that weather is, it hasn't been just any rain, but if you've ever seen that movie Forrest Gump and that rain he talked about when he was out in the jungles of Vietnam, that rain has made its way to South Georgia, it feels like, on Friday nights around 7:30.
Well, I really believe, and you can look at the extended forecast, these last couple of days, today was a little warmer, but these last couple of days has been, you can feel it and even smell a little fall in the air. Another thing is the humidity is really low. I don't think we're going to see too many more rainy nights for football, unless we get a hurricane come through, and then everything's probably going to be canceled. But yeah, I like you, it's been some bad luck. Last couple home games we've had been washes. I hated it for the Wall of Fame game this past Friday night. All those folks that were honored, just wasn't the crowd in the stands there would have been if it wasn't for the weather. So again, like you said, we're just hoping for some better weather as we continue on. And that's just part of playing football in August, though. Sky, I've had this conversation with a couple other folks at the school. You know, we had an opportunity a couple years ago with COVID to push the school year starting back after Labor Day like we used to do, and allow just for basically practice during August, and then start playing games maybe, you know, the last weekend in August. But I think a lot of concern was having to play more into December for the playoffs. But why not just cut the season back to 8 games? You know, I know there's probably concern for guys with state records and those types of things. But you know, just put an asterisk beside it and keep moving on. If that's the case, but that's what you're going to run into. We keep playing stuff in August. You're going to have rainy weather.
Yeah, and I mean, you've had the band members out there in rain ponchos. You've had cheerleaders out there in rain ponchos. Had the fans out there in every umbrella they can get their hands on. And to get back to this game that we're sitting here commentating, it's 18-0 in the bottom of the second for your Lady Raiders as Ava Connors back in the box with the bases loaded. But there are some good things happening in Raider Nation right now. If you're a follower of Bacon County and you follow all the social media accounts, you can see what goes on the daily basis inside the school and then outside the school at these sporting events. You've got the football program who broke, I was told it was a 13-game losing streak, but I'm not sure of the exact number, somewhere around there. They broke that streak last week. We've got the softball team on a nice winning streak. Trying to think what other extracurriculars we've got going on right now. I know cross country's running. Ava's going to be rung up on a called strike, as I feel like the umpire has expanded his zone to the let's just get this one over with strike zone. That's one of those where, as a player in the box, that really, hopefully, players understand it, but it is not great that has to go on your stat sheet. But at this portion of the ball game, I feel like the umpire is trying to get out of here. And Thea's going to make contact here and ground. Oh, and she's going to ground out to first base. And I believe the fans and the players in the dugout, that's the most excited they've been the entire game so far. As that's a little bit of a inside story here within the team and the school. We've got Chloe up the bat here, and she just got hit again, which is nothing new for her in this game. At this point, her leg may fall off or whatever she's got going on.
Now batting number 5, Riley Andrews.
Riley's in the box. She's going to take ball 1 there on the outside part of the plate. Your Lady Raiders are leading 19-0 here in the second inning. 2 outs. That pitch is going to be up and in to Riley. Riley's going to foul that one off, also down the left side. That has not been an uncommon statement to make in this ball game. Riley's going to hit a nice little line drive there down third base. That's going to score a run and move the runners up. believe that might have hit the third baseman there. There's a camera in my way, so I couldn't exactly see her when it happened, but I believe that ball might have hit her and booted off to foul territory over there. So we're going to have a small break here to get her checked out. Okay, we're going to get back to the action here. As the third baseman is going to be just fine. She stays in the ball game, and Lily Smith in the box with the. I'm not sure what just happened there. Okay, we've got Chloe stepping off on purpose over there to create our third out, and that'll get our Lady Raiders to the top of the third inning. Okay, and we're back here in the top of the third with Lady Trojans back up the bat, and the Lady Raiders are currently up 20-0 in this ball game. 3 more outs, and your Lady Raiders will be able to secure their, I believe, 7th win in a row. This is also a region ball game, so that is another check. That pitch is going to miss there on the outside part of the plate. That's a ground ball at third base. Oh, Lexi with the little backhand there and the throw to first base. Oh, maybe that is Chloe. That is Chloe Pless over there playing third base. There's been a ton of subs in this game, so as of right now, I'm not entirely sure who is playing where. Chloe on that play. She's usually in the circle, but she just wanted to remind everybody that she is an athlete and pitchers matter too. She just went out there at third base and snagged a nice little backhand play. Ava's going to deliver another strike. That'll be strike 3 to bring it to 2 out. So your Lady Raiders are 1 out away from closing out this ball game and securing another W. First pitch of this at bat from Ava is going to be a swinging strike. Ava's going to deliver strike 2, so now we are down 1 strike away from winning this ball game. Oh, we got a fly ball there in the right field. Thea's going to field that ball on the bounce, throw it back in. As Brooks County, I think probably just picked up their first hit of the ball game. Of course, it never fails usually when a team picks up their first hit of the game late in the game, which is only the 3rd inning, but for this game it's late. It's always usually a blooper or some weird, uncommon way to get your first hit. Ava's going to miss low with that pitch. That pitch is going to miss low to bring it 2-0. Ball's going to be high and outside there, so we're going to have a 3-0 count here. That's going to be the first strike. Going to have a foul ball for strike 2 here, so that's going to bring upon a full count here with 2 outs. We've got a batter seem to foul that one off. I believe it's shin, ankle, somewhere in that area, and she's going to get looked at by the trainer. So I'm going to take a slight break here.
I'm just wondering. Obviously, dress code doesn't apply to the trainer. talking bad about her because she won't know no better until she's old.
At the football game, they were calling her booty shorts. And we're back. That's going to be a foul ball down the right side there. That's probably the first time I've got to utter that statement in this ball game.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 1 strike away from ending this game in 3 innings. It's been a long 3 innings. You know, it's been almost a little over an hour and a half, which is a little crazy. But
if it's felt that long to us, imagine being down on the field. Another foul ball there.
yeah, staying alive here.
Staying alive. Staying alive.
Oh, keep your day job.
Hey, don't hate.
Swing and a miss.
That's going to be strike 3 as your Lady Raiders are going to take this one home with a big region win in more ways than one, with a final score of 20-0 over the Brooks County Lady Trojans.
I want to thank Sky for stepping in here and doing a great job. And I want 3 innings, but it's an hour and 40 minutes worth of work. Checks in the mail as always.
Yeah, I'll be waiting on it.
Appreciate him again stepping in and doing this. Thank you all for joining us. Those that you did, thank you for being subscribers to this NFHS network. It helps support my program, what we do with Technology Student Association, as well as our student broadcasting program. We are fully self-sufficient. I'm very proud of that. Anytime we have to travel, I feed my kids, and we stay away at long playoff trips. We don't ask for a dime from the local school system, and that's because of our sponsors and because of you subscribers. We get just a little small kickback from that, some revenue there. Revenue sharing is what they call it. So we do appreciate you for being part of us. Thank you for the loyal annual customers, and those of you maybe even month to month or that sort of thing. But again, Lady Raiders win a big game here, region game, 20-0 over the Brooks County Trojans. And we're going to just again thank you for joining us, and we'll look to see you next time on the NFHS Network, powered by Play on Sports, brought to you by BCTV Red Raider Broadcasting.